Hey guys, this is the story of my life. First of all, my name's Ryan Brady, and I want to talk to you today a little bit about my life. I was born in Lexington, South Carolina, in 1986. It's a great year. And growing up, I've always lived in a Christian home. Uh, my parents, both went to church. I went to church probably before I was born. So growing up in church was always something that was very natural and very, something that came always. It was every Sunday we were in church, every Wednesday night, something I always did. Um, I moved to Spartanburg, South Carolina when I was, say, 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. And a lot of things happened to me in my life that doesn't usually happen to people that young. I had to learn to grow up when I was very young. At the age of 10, my mom died, and she passed away. She had cancer. Um, and it was a very hard situation, a very tough situation for me and my family. The moment in which I came to Christ was actually right before my mother died. I guess I had this grand idea that if I became a Christian and if I accepted Christ in my life, then that would in turn fix everything in my life, including my mother's illness and her cancer, her pancreatic cancer. It didn't work out that way. That was not God's plan. But at the time, I didn't know. I had no idea. So I became very upset, very angry, very, very confused, and quite understand what was going on. Didn't know why this was happening to me and to my family. It actually wasn't until a couple years later that my dad got remarried to this awesome lady. And our two families, it was beautiful. It was almost truly like a Brady Bunch story in that her family joined up with my family, or our families joined together. And the wedding was truly like, as opposed to just my parents getting married, it's like the family just joining together. And if you look at us today, you would just never even know that we are a blended family. Um, But I guess what it all boils down to is the fact that sometimes things happen in our lives that we have no clue why these things happen. We don't understand the reasoning behind a lot of things. Um, and it wasn't until I turned about 12, right after my parents got remarried, or after my dad got remarried, that I realized that I really truly needed Jesus Christ in my life, as opposed to just kind of accepting him and knowing him and uh, knowing what it's like and knowing about him. It truly came to the point where I needed to know Jesus as opposed to just knowing about him, to truly seek after him and to truly understand what it means to live a life for Christ. Um, so I was 12 years old, truly gave my life over, surrendered to follow after him. Uh, in the Lord's Prayer, and you're familiar with it. Jesus says, and when you pray, pray like this. And he says, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. And it wasn't until this summer when I was working with Sea Salt and our invasion staff that I truly grasped the fact that the kingdom of heaven is here, that the kingdom of God is actually here on earth, and it's something that we should always seek after. When Jesus Christ in the book of Luke, describes what the kingdom of God is like, his disciples, they say, so what is the kingdom of God like? What shall you compare it to? And Jesus says, I'll compare it to a mustard seed. And the cool thing about a mustard seed is that it invades. It's almost like the kudzu, the annoying kudzu that goes on. It truly grips into the ground and invades everything, and that's what the kingdom of God is like right now. Here, it's not so much focused on the end, but it's the here and now, where God's kingdom, and that's something that God has been working in my life here lately, and it's something God's been teaching me and showing me. So my challenge to you is that you would not lose sight of the end, that you would live life to the fullest here on earth, with the kingdom of God being here, not thinking about where it is. And no matter what encouragements or disencouragements that you get in your life, God's got a plan. He's truly out there, and He knows what He's doing. Thanks, guys, and God bless.